Okay, hi everyone. 应该开始了吧? Oh, oops. Hi everyone, my name's Andre. I'm a registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And today's topic is going to be constipation. So it's quite common that people have constipation in, in this modern life. Let me give you the definition of constipation in TCM. So for a healthy person, you're supposed to have at least one to two bowel movement every day, and the best will be morning, like shortly after you wake up, and the quality of your stool should be formed like solid, and it should be like sausage shape, and it's not too dry, not too soft, not too sticky. So that would be like a healthy bowel movement. So if you have bowel movement less than every day, so you go every other day or even longer between each time you go, that's already considered constipation. And even if you go every day, but you don't have this completely empty feeling after you go, or your stool is kind of sticky, it takes a long time to come out, it takes 15 to 20 minutes, and you feel like unfinished after you go, that is still considered constipation as well. So there are just a few types of constipation that I commonly see in the clinic. Let's break it down based on TCM terminology, yin and yang. So I'm sure a lot of people heard of yin and yang, but they don't know what they mean. So in TCM, yin and yang can be considered as a yang is more like a functional issue. So if you have, for example, your intestine is not moving as regularly, or your large intestine isn't absorbing water, or isn't secreting isn't passing the bowels regularly, then it's considered as a functional issue. It's yang type of issue. And if there's a structural issue, for example, if you have like a polyp or a cyst or even tumors or any type of physical issue in your organs, then it's considered as yin type of issue. So going back to constipation, so if your large intestine has no structural issue, just functional issue, then it's yang. If it's structural issue and no functional issue, then it's yin. And it can be a combination of both. And another way to kind of separate constipation is by heat and cold. Like this is somewhat easier to understand. So if it's heat type of constipation, this patient generally has a stronger, more bulky type of body type, and this type of person will generally feel feel hot and less afraid of cold. So he generally wears less clothing than other people, and he's like a furnace if you're anywhere near him. So this type of person, his body is like a desert. So he is very hot, and the water kind of evaporates very quickly in his system. So they drink a lot of water, especially they do like cold or ice water. but with that amount of water they drink, they don't seem to pee the same amount out of their body. So just like I said, like in the desert, before you actually pour the water from your bottle to the ground, it already evaporates. It's kind of like that. So this type of person, the intestine can be very dry because all the water in his system kind of goes out through sweating or through his skin, through his pores, some from urination, and so basically very hot and dry. So that's this type of constipation will be the stool is very hard and kind of very difficult to pass. And another type of constipation that I mentioned, opposite of heat, is the cold type. So a cold type being the function is hypoactive. So the function is slower, like everything slows down. Your intestine is working at 70% or 50% of the normal working rate. So it's not moving as fast, it's not absorbing water as fast as it can. So this type of stool can be a little bit sticky and harder to pass. It will take a long time. It can even stick to the toilet after you flush, or it takes a long time to just wipe your butt, basically. So this type of constipation belongs to the cold type. So your intestine isn't moving as fast as you should, and that's considered cold type. And this person will generally have like a aversion to cold. He doesn't like cold, or he needs to wear more clothing than other people. And so that's the differentiation between heat and cold type. Of course, there are other types, but these are quite common in the clinic. And there's also a third type that is very, very common among women, because when you have issue with your period, meaning your period isn't discharged fully every month, and there will be some accumulation stayed in the uterus or around uterus or around your ovaries. They can become become a cyst or become some sort of accumulation. There are many kinds. Basically, just consider it as accumulation, because what's supposed to go out isn't completely out every month, and maybe like 90% goes out every month, and then 10% got accumulated. And if this 10% doesn't goes out somehow, it will stay inside of your body. And once you have an accumulation, there will be like a growth. Either like I said, it can be a cyst, can be a tumor, can be polyps, or can be thickening of your uterus walls, or anything like that. And once there's accumulation, it will kind of it will interfere with your intestine, because in our anatomy, what's behind uterus is the small and large intestine. So that's why female gynecological issues will affect bowel movement. It's very commonly seen. So, hi, Wilma. So if you have like period issues, especially before your period, you're gonna notice there are other symptoms that you experience you'll get more severe. For example, if you have constipation, before your period, it's gonna get more serious. Or if you have a mild headache and it can be more serious before your period. So for this type of patient, once I kind of help them to kind of gain back their normal uterus function, they have a healthy period, then the bowel movement issue will go away, the constipation will go away. So there was a patient whose period stopped after like 32 or 34 years old, and she thought her menopause came early, but actually it was not, because somehow the blood flow is really clogged. Like if you imagine a river, it's just somewhere along the river, it would just block completely. The water doesn't go downstream, and so the period doesn't come out. And what doesn't come out will accumulate in your body, and so that will create a really bad blood circulation in the lower abdomen. And after a long time, it's going to affect circulation of your lower limbs. So this patient, she had a few varicose veins. So if you're not sure what varicose veins are, it's basically your veins become protruding out of your skin, becomes like a little swelling of veins. That's because there's too much blood in the vein, and we have in the vein there are valves that stops the blood flow going backwards. But since there is too much blood in the vein, the valve kind of no longer able to function properly, so blood was accumulated inside the vein. And our body is very smart. Our body is very good at compensating. So when this happens, your body will start growing smaller veins around it to kind of distribute the pressure, help with the blood flow. And these veins will look like thin purplish veins. It can be purplish red or purplish kind of dark green if it's serious. So here's the drawing I made. So this is considered that's a vein, and these are the valves. Our blood is supposed to go this way back to the heart, but when there's too much blood in the vein, it kind of creates too much weight and pressure. So the valves no longer work. So the blood kind of just accumulates here, and your vein becomes like this, become kind of like a bulging type of vein, and your body will grow these smaller veins around it, try to help with the circulation. So for this patient, she had some sleeping issue, constipation. Sorry, my assistant woke up. He was playing with my headphone right here. This is Sabamalu. He is our newest member of the family. He's only almost 2 years old. He's super cute. And anyway, so this patient has sleeping issue, and mostly the constipation, because she couldn't, I think she goes every 3 days. Every 3 days she has one bowel movement, and it's like, small pebbles like goat poop, like rounded marbles. So what I did is just pretty much just try to clear out all the stagnated blood from her legs. So her legs, there are lots of these veins. So what I did is just kind of did a little poke to help release the pressure in there, improve, clear out what's clogged in here, like plumbing. When you have a clogged pipe, you just kind of remove the clog to restore the flow of water. So the same with blood flow. I try to remove as much as I can each time. And then after like 10, 12 treatments, she was able to sleep properly, and then her constipation also improved to every other day. And it wasn't like pebbles anymore. It was much better, even though she's not completely healthy yet. And what else? Let me answer a couple questions. Is the constipation before menstruation cycle considered normal? No. Okay, so if you experience constipation before your menstruation, that means there is some sort of accumulation around your uterus, your ovaries, and it's affecting it kind of pressures or obstruct the normal function of your intestines. So that's, even though it's kind of minor symptom, but it's still something you should look into. And if you have someone, if you have an acupuncturist or a TCMP that you trust, you should go to them and get this issue fixed, and it will save you a lot of health issue in the long run, in the next 10, 20 years. And because it is quite common to have colon cancer, like the first, because people don't really know when they have, until they are diagnosed of colon cancer, because they never pay attention to their bowel movement. They thought, going every other day or going every 3 days, it's okay. But it's not. It's the earliest sign of any colon or intestine issue is the bowel movement. So if you are able to keep your bowel movement healthy once a day in the morning, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to end up with a surprise that you have a colon cancer or things like that. Let me answer another question. Is it normal that there is no bowel movement after 2 to 3 days, for 2 to 3 days after a major diarrhea? Yes, that's how body works, because our intestine is very long. I forgot how long in total, but if you have like a serious diarrhea, you pretty much everything in your intestine is cleared out, and it will take a day or two until it's back, a day or two with food intake. Of course, if you're not eating, you're not going to have a normal bowel movement. And so it takes about a day or two with normal eating to get back to like a normal intestine functions. Is there any other questions? Okay. Then if no questions, then I'm going to end it here. So if you like my content, feel free to like my Facebook page. You will get notification when I go live, or you can just watch the previous videos. Also, you can subscribe my YouTube channel, Andre Shi Traditional Chinese Medicine, or go to my website, andreshitcm.com. Or, if you find the content helpful and you have friends, family who has constipation issue, you can share the video with them, let them know that what is supposed to be a healthy bowel movement and how they should Basically just get more knowledge about their body. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.